Hi, I'm Rob Miotti, and this right here is Jay Prado. Welcome to another Jet Air Share and Ship. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you very much, Rob. Good to be here.
I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about one of the very popular products here at Jet Air, the DLTunnel. So Jay, tell us what the DLTunnel does.
Sure. Customers select the DLTunnel because they want to remove either liquids or they want to remove powders. And after those are removed, we want to make sure they're contained. So to keep water off the floor, to keep powder out of the air, customers will go ahead and they'll pick the DL to contain all of that.
Very safe.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, the DL is an odd name. How did it get that name?
Well, that's kind of a fun story. So the DL got its name from having gull wing doors.
All right.
Much like you would see in the DeLorean and Back to the Future. So at first these were actuated, but then we realized we didn't really need to have actuated doors, so we switched over to these lift-offs, which helped us lower the cost for the customer.
Okay, great, lowering the cost. Now, I also think that that's not the only thing that lowered the cost, right?
No, not at all. This is a very simple machine. It is a bolt-together machine, and it is perfect for customers who are looking for something of this type.
Right, and I noticed the octagon shape of it. Right. Now, there's a reason for that too?
Yeah, so the octagonal shape is designed so we can add rigidity and structural integrity to the machine. Perfect. A flat piece of stainless isn't going to do that for you.
Yeah, it would wobble, right?
Right, so not only that, this also encapsulates and holds the air components, and there's plenty of room to move everything in there. And it also brings the sound down, because there is sound coming out of those air components.
Yeah, they can be loud.
Yes.
Now when I look inside, I see the air components, and I see the hose, and then I see that black manifold right there. That feature stands out. What makes that so special?
Yeah, so that is actually a Jet Air specifically designed part, and as well with the hose being smooth bored, what we've done is really ensured that our air delivery system mitigates pressure losses so that we get the best drying performance possible for the customer.
Cool, and so that's not a traditional T, there's a curve there. As you said, the hose is smooth on the inside, so that keeps the most amount of air going through there.
Right.
Now these air components, I can see that they are self-contained, they're self-attached, no drilling into your conveyor?
No. This is all self-supported. The customer's not going to have to drill into their conveyor. It's very easy to install. And these air components that you mentioned are actually a very special air component. This is something that Jet Air designed over many years, and these are different than your typical air blades or welded air nozzles. These are press-fit, specifically engineered nozzles to keep the pressure and flow and dry at a much greater distance than those typical air components.
And we call those jet blasts.
That's correct.
And what we also wanted to talk about is changeover a little bit, and how the jet blasts work with changeover.
Right, so in this case the customer had 3 different bottle sizes, and when they do a run they don't want to sit there and mess around with all the air components and have to change them all the time. So whenever they're doing a run of any of those 3 bottles, this is going to cover those sizes so they don't have to do a darn thing.
Awesome. It's a great design and very affordable.
Yes, so let's go ahead and move over to our blower and enclosure. So this is going to be what supplies that awesome system with all its pressure and flow.
The Enclosure 700.
That's correct.
Now I notice a lot of things about this, but the first thing I notice is this slope design on top, which prevents people from putting beverages or playing card games on top, right?
Right.
What else? Tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of awesome features to this system. So starting kind of right here, we have our fan. That's going to keep all the components inside cool and breezy.
Located on both sides of fans.
That's
all right.
Pulling in and out. We've got our stack lights, so the operators are going to know what's going on. We have a full AC/DC control panel inside here. We've got our HMI to control the VFD, e-stop selector switches, reset lights, auto loop fault lights, flange disconnect. There's a lot of different features on here, some of them standard, some of them optional.
Okay, excellent. So let's go over the standard features first, and then we'll go over the optional features. If I may, can I talk about the filter?
Sure.
All right, so I love this filter. It's actually got a pre-filter, this spongy part that can be cleaned and recleaned often as you like. It's got a screen which coalesces any ambient syrups or beer stone or anything that might be in the air, and that can be cleaned off. And then inside of that is the largest filter surface area you can possibly fit in this size. So it captures just about everything from what I gathered.
We're gonna produce nice clean air for whatever product we're drying off or blowing powder off of.
Perfect. All right, so take us through those standard features.
Absolutely. So standard on an Enclosure 700, you'll pretty much always see this e-stop, and you'll see a selector switch switch for start and stop. Now, some of the more optional features are the stack light that we mentioned before, the HMI on the front of the machine, the illuminated reset button, as well as the illuminated auto lube fault right here. We have our voltage indicator. So again, in terms of safety, these customers wanted to make sure that their operators using this knew when this machine was powered. So we have our voltage indicator right here.
All right, so before we open it up, let's practice a little safety now. Let's turn it off and open her up.
Yeah.
Now, what we're going to see is a 20 horsepower blower, and those blowers can be very loud, right, Jay?
That's correct. So what we've done, much like we saw on the DLs over there, we have these compression latches and we have gasketing along the inside of the door here. That's going to keep this compartment tight and sealed from any water ingress and stuff like that. Now, on the blower as well, this little silver unit, this is another option that customers can buy into. And this is our auto lubrication unit, and it's going to keep the blower periodically lubricated so that changeovers of bearings and things like that are mitigated to a much more, easy changeover time.
It automatically lubes the bearings?
That is absolutely what it is.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So that's the Jet 2X blower, correct? Yes. Now, the sound levels of a Jet 2X can get up to, let's say, 100, 105 decibels.
Yeah, in an open environment, they can reach those levels. But with this Enclosure 700, again, we're keeping things under the 85 dBA.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about the top cabinet. There's only a couple things to mention, right?
Sure. We already went over a lot of the controls that are in here, but we wanted to show you the inside. This is the brains of our unit. This is our variable frequency drive. It's going to control the blower, the auto lube, the on-off, all the other functions of the machine. And then next to that, you can just kind of see the rest of our panel and the workmanship of the technicians here at Jet Air.
Awesome. Well, Jay, thanks for spending the time with us and going through all the technical aspects of these two products. I appreciate it. And thank you very much for watching another Share and Ship from Jet Air Technologies.